So today I'm gonna work on the CSS and HTML part of the site. CSS and HTML part of the site. CSS and HTML. And yesterday I spent a bunch of time trying to figure out. It feels like this is taking a lot longer than it should, and the reason why is because of these roadblocks that I keep encountering with the contracts and because I did with two separate contracts instead of doing everything in one. And it's very hard to find the correct information about it online. So that's why it's taking a long time. I had to redo some of the. I think I added one function, and then I changed some functions on the contracts as well. The reason why I wasn't being able to mint the NFTs is because I had the only owner here as a modifier, and I forgot to change that. Then that's why the gas wasn't displaying. And that took me a long time to figure out because it's not the mistake I was getting, the problem I was getting is not really clear because I thought it was related to gas, and then I searched a bunch of things about gas, and I spent a bunch of time on that, and then eventually I figured out, I realized that I had only owner here, and then I erased and it started working. But at that time, I had already not withdraw. I removed the function, the fee, the minting fee, because I thought that might be the problem, and I wanted to test. But then it still wasn't working, and then after that, I removed the only owner, and then it started working. So I leave it like that, and then after I did this, I also added this function here to fetch the market items, and then this was giving me a problem, so I spent a bunch of time on that as well. And basically, the reason why I did this function is because it's a lot easier to get all the items from the smart contract itself than to figure out how to do it off chain. And I don't have a lot of time to do this project, so I wanted to do this in the contract itself because it's better if you can. It's better to do this computation off chain because it spends more gas if you do it on chain. But yeah. And then after I did this, I also added this function to remove item, which is still not clear. It seems like it isn't working for some reason because I changed the test files and I ran a bunch of tests and the fetch market items wasn't working. Then I figured out why, which is basically the index here that I had it wrong. So it was giving me a wrong type when it was giving me big number, some error like that with big number. And then I changed the index and started working. And this one, I still don't know. I ran a bunch of tests, but it seems like it's not working for some reason. It's reverting with this exception here, which is only item owner can perform this operation. And the way that I did this was to get the item with the items ID, and from the items mapping, get the specific item from the mapping using the item ID, and then accessing the seller of that item ID and verifying if it's message.sender. And basically the logic behind that is I only want the person to allow the person that is going to call the function to be the person that is selling the NFT, because if they are selling the NFT, that means that they are the owner of the NFT. And I can't use owner here and dot owner in this one because I have separate contracts for minting and for the marketplace. So the only way I can access the account that has the NFT on this contract here is by accessing the seller property in my mind. And then if I require this to be equal to message.sender, in my mind, it should verify that the person is the one that is selling the NFT. So they own the NFT. But for some reason, even when so I suspect the reason why this isn't working is because I'm doing something wrong here when I'm connecting to the. I tried with address one and deployer, which is supposed to be the person that minted the NFT and that allowed for the market to have it. So they should be the seller technically, address one. And I tried to connect them to the marketplace contract and call the function, but it seems like it isn't working. And the token ID is still a problem as well, because if you have a bunch of NFTs from the same account, then you need to figure out which token ID is specific to the one that they are trying to remove. But that can be done with the front end when they're gonna click, because you have the properties. You can get the properties, at least that's what I think, using this fetch market items function. So that's about it. I think when I close this, don't have enough space, sure. So here also, this is not, it wasn't working for some reason. Both when there's no NFTs, the properties were all wrong. It wasn't showing the black background, which it was supposed to show, and I was going to make some text to display when there is no NFTs here, but for some reason it wasn't showing. The dimensions are all incorrect, and that's what I'm gonna try to fix here as well. Also, they are connected. I want some space between them, and I want to figure this out, how to do that. And here I had to make the NFTs equal to the minter contract instead of getting them from the marketplace for now, just to test this, because I was trying to list them when I mint by calling this function here with the listing. Here I tried a bunch of different ways. I didn't try with the transaction, but if you console log the transaction, you see that it's an object, and the object has a bunch of properties, and then you can access token ID with those properties. And that's what I did here. And it was giving me a mistake on the address, because here it requires an NFT and this function, and IERC 721 token, and I'm not sure exactly what I should pass here. That's the problem. I tried to pass the minter contract. I tried to pass the minter contract address, and it didn't work. And I tried a bunch of different variations. And then I tried another way as well, using this stuff here that I got from a tutorial, but also didn't work. And I'm not really sure why it doesn't work on my stuff, because on the tutorials it seems that it works for them. So obviously I'm doing something wrong here, but it's unclear what it is. And I didn't try passing the transactions here, but I suspect it's very unlikely to work, because the transactions is not supposed to be the address of the NFT. It's just the transaction itself. It has a bunch of different properties. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm console logging the transaction here. So next time I mint, I can show that. So when it's loading the NFTs, it shouldn't. I have loader here, but it should show the whole page, and for some reason it's compressed here. I don't really understand why. I also tried to put a div here and put CSS and change the CSS, but it doesn't work as well. If I put height 100% here, I think it's gonna mess the thing up, which is really annoying. And also when I changed the dimensions for the body and the root, it wasn't working as well. I spent a bunch of time trying to figure this out. It's really annoying. So this, I suspect, to change this stuff, I'm gonna have to change the card, because in the card is the information here. I try to change the padding, and also need to search for the Bootstrap CSS stuff. Maybe I'll search it here, actually. Because this is the one that I think I need to change. But I don't understand really well how to combine the React Bootstrap with the CSS Bootstrap. Basically, this class's name, the class name is the CSS Bootstrap. P stands for margin, I think, W for width, H for height, and then call comes from the React, I think. So okay, I have the explore div, then I have the row. The row I think comes from here. Row. P5. And this is also a weird thing. When I change here, I increase the padding, but for some reason it decreases the size there, which I don't understand. Oh, I guess it kind of makes sense because I'm increasing the padding of the elements. So maybe if I decrease this, or if I remove completely. Yeah, but then this is what it doesn't make any sense to me. Because if it's 2, then this takes up more space. But if it's 5, it takes less, and then if it's 10, all of a sudden it takes more as well. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's probably happening because of the properties of the cards, of each card, I think. So I suspect I have to change the size of the card, maybe. So I think, let me just remove this and see if it takes the whole space again. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna leave this at 5. And then probably I need to change something here, I think, on each column. Oh, I guess I understand now. There was also something with columns here that I erased. I also created another branch to work on this. There was something about the colors here that was the columns. I think it was 3 different variables. You can try this one as well. When I try to change the padding of each card, it changed from inside, and then when I try to change the margin, I think also didn't work. I'm gonna put some music as well. Oh, here, this is the thing that I was seeing. Because initially it had this stuff, and then I erased at some point to see if that's would fix the problem. Call lets you specify column width across 6 breakpoint sizes, XSS, SM, MD. So for every breakpoint, you can specify the amount of columns to span or set the prop to. Or maybe I can. It's easier to just go back to this stuff here. I just want to finish the CSS as fast as possible, the layout with this stuff, because I think the biggest challenge is gonna be to figure out how to list the NFTs on the marketplace. Because essentially, I want to display the NFTs on the marketplace and not the NFTs from the Minter contract. But I think I'm just gonna do this at the end once I have everything. Because my NFTs page is gonna be equal to the Explorer page. The only difference is gonna be the filtering that I'm gonna do to display the elements in the page. Here. Oh, there isn't anything about it. Oh, this one I erased as well because it was making the image not fit the model. Oh, so it looks like I was tripping. And there wasn't anything there. Maybe it was in some other part that I forgot. So I'm thinking about changing the bootstrap altogether, the React bootstrap, and not using it anymore, and just doing my own thing. But then I think it's gonna be more work as well. So maybe we can try these ones. Call for if columns across all viewports and devices can be created by using class and responsive classes. Yeah, but the thing is, the columns I think are fine. The problem is the spacing between them. So this is the class that I have to figure out. So it's true below the Explorer div. The Explorer, the row is probably each element here. It's probably this column. But if I put margin here, it's not gonna work. I think I tried this before. Oh, it does work. Huh. Damn, I'm so dumb. Let's see it true. There we go. I think I spent a bunch of trying to figure this out. What if I put padding 5? Margin. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense for me. So let's decrease the padding to 1. I wanna see. And the issue with doing this on stream is that, and this is weird as well. I don't understand why he's doing this. Yeah, the problem with doing this on stream is that I have to use only half the screen, then I can't really see I can, but it's annoying to see full screen. Yeah, but this is the issue now. Because there is this empty space because you can't fit each of them on its own thing. Let me think about this. I guess I can use the column stuff on this one. But if I always have 3 columns, or maybe I can use this here. So let's see. SCM. Then it's just annoying to know the names of each one. What do they mean? Set the column value for any breakpoint size. Show auto to size columns based on the natural width of their content. I think I'm just gonna put all of them and then I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna experiment with a bunch of different. Just set breakpoints for the fluid prop, setting it to a breakpoint, SM, MD, LG. So it's probably small, medium. It's probably in the order of growth there. Large. Then XL. What is XS though? So I'm gonna put 1 for each one. Or maybe when small, it's gonna be 4 and 3, 2, 1. Oh, it should be the other way around actually. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 5, 6. Interesting. So XS is probably extra small. It doesn't change anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what the hell? What's going on? Or maybe I'm changing the wrong thing. It's possible. Oh, I'm changing the right one, I think. Row columns, OG. So let me remove some of this and see. Oh, from what I understand right now, each one of them is a breakpoint for screen size, but Set breakpoints for the fluid prop. Set nature a breakpoint. We'll set the container as fluid until the specified breakpoint. Oh, I see. But maybe if I put 3 here. Let's put the 3 in all of them and see what happens. Okay, so it changed. But the issue now is the content. Let's see if I do this. If I do this, then it's correct. But there's still all this space here, which doesn't make sense. So maybe if I do align items center, that can be the thing. And it has to be on the row here. I'm not sure if it worked or not. Probably not. I have to use display flex. This makes I don't understand because I don't know if the CSS bootstrap is gonna override the React bootstrap. And I'm doing things on grid, so maybe I should, instead of putting this, yeah, but then how do I align the items? Rows and collection layout and align content. Oh, it's built with Flexbox and it's for this also. I think once I set this up, I can do the same thing in the... Yeah, so it's pretty much all the only thing I have to do is... And I think the nav bar I'm gonna change at the end though. Only at the end of the... Once I figure out all this stuff, the other stuff out. It's probably not a lot, just the listing part and the buttons as well. And maybe I should add the buttons right now. I'll take care of this and then I'll add the buttons. My idea is to put a button to buy and a button to buy and a button to remove the item. If the remove button is gonna have a condition if you're the owner. But then I have to see as well, because that's the problem. If I can't verify that the address is the message.sender is equal to seller, to the seller property of the thing, then I won't be able to do that. But from what I saw on the tests, what I received back when I call fetch all market items is a list with all the properties of the transaction there on when you create the item. And it seems like it returns basically the item struct. And it seems that on the item struct, you can access the seller, the address. So I don't see any reason why, because all I have to do is match the addresses. But for some reason, it wasn't working. To list, at least. Or to test the contract on the remove item function. I think I'll be right back. Auto layout columns. Column with variable with content. The call lets you specify column width across 6 breakpoints. Variable point can specify the amount of column to span or set a prompt. This should be extra small. I have it here. Extra small. Cards. Oh, that's where I have this stuff. That's why. I remember seeing this somewhere. Okay. So that's the problem here. I have this stuff, but I have here as well. How can I comment this? I wonder if I can do this here. That doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to Control C this. So I think I'm gonna have to change on this row here these values, and this hopefully is gonna fix the thing. So I'll wrap So maybe I do a true here. It's gonna change. And then doesn't change. So annoying. I hate CSS. I think this is fine actually. So the I have to change when it's on the big side because I want at least 3 of them. But for some reason it doesn't work. So large, extra large, put 3 and 3 as well. I don't see why just putting large here equals to 3 wouldn't change that, but I guess it's because of the size of the rows. The size of the rows is the thing that I'm changing now. So now it seems like the XSL is active and it's supposed to be 3, but for some reason there's only 2. And it's because of the size of the margin, probably. But it should be shrinking the thing to fit the stuff. That's what I don't understand. So what if I switch to padding? And now this is a problem as well because this stuff is outside of the thing. Let me see if I remove this gap here. Better. Question is how do I make this shrink? I don't think this is gonna change that much the final points. Final points, but and the issue now is that on this it becomes too small. Maybe gap 3. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna leave it like this, even if it's gonna be distorted on this format. Doesn't matter. If I want to spend more time, then I can change here this stuff here. Or maybe I can change the sizes here. And this change the size of the icon, I think. Let me remove this and see what happens. Nothing happened. I guess one thing I can do is add a class name to the stack and make the width lower. So let's see. I think this proportion is fine. So maybe class name width 5. It's only for a brief dimension here that is scrolled up. And here is also giving me. So what if I do? Because it's giving me one item per thing. And there's all this empty space there. Which I don't understand. What if I do this? And it's still the same thing. Just doesn't remove the space. So maybe I have to add an extra column here. But the issue. I'm adding one column for each item. That's what it doesn't make sense. Because the problem is if I divide like this, then it's more complicated to map over the stuff and populate each column. Maybe if I just remove this column completely, I just put a div here instead. Let's see if this works. No, it's the same thing, but now I think I can change the dimensions here. I guess this height is 100%. Doesn't change anything. And the issue is that I'm getting this. How can I add one there? It has to be because of the margin that I'm putting. The padding and the margin. But what if I do 4 here? Now there's 3 because this is the annoying thing because I'm because I'm putting the padding in the margin, it doesn't fit the whole thing, which is quite annoying. The thing is most annoying to me is that if I do this with CSS, it's a lot easier. So the bootstrap thing is supposed to make it easier, but it is actually making it harder for me. But maybe it's just because I don't have experience using it. And that's the reason why I'm trying to figure out, because it seems like it's pretty standard to use CSS, Bootstrap, and Tailwind CSS, and React Bootstrap as well. So I think it's worth it to spend the time trying to figure out how it works. But it is really annoying. And the issue is if I decrease the padding, then it misses the point. Because I'm gonna have the pictures the same way that I had before. Where they are true connected. And then if I increase this to 3, it feels that is a hacky way to deal with this. So maybe if I figure out how to center, maybe that's what I should be trying to do. Shouldn't rows be vertical and or horizontal and columns be vertical. Let's put column here again. So what if I delete this from here? But that's weird. Yeah, because I'm adding each column. What if I put one in each one? Hmm. Maybe if I put one on each one here and then put two, 3. So if I change to 2 here, 2, 3. Okay, so making some progress. No, it doesn't make any sense to me. It should be one row for each and then 2 columns. Because I have to think that it's stacking a bunch of columns inside of this row. Also, maybe if I limit, yeah, but the thing is, I am limiting to 3. Oh, maybe if I do 3 for all of them. Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's not what I want. Oh. I think what's confusing me is that it's counterintuitive because it's not fitting the whole space of the row, each one. So it ends up working, but for the wrong reasons. Because it tries to fit 4, but it can't, so it passes to the next row, I think. That's the only explanation I can find. So if I put 5 here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, at this point, I don't think it matters that much. What if I increase this? So I think here I should have 4 probably on each one. Because what's annoying me is that they're all in the left here and they should be centered. That's the problem. It should be this whole stuff. This size, I think it's okay, but it should be all in the center. And try 6, 5, and 4. So this. So this is probably excess here. What? And this is too much. I think extra large then. Whatever. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. Don't care that much. Obviously, it can be a lot better, but I don't think they're gonna take a lot of score because of that. So I think I'm gonna focus on putting the buttons here now. It's probably gonna be very easy. And that's the thing, the price is not showing here because this is coming from the minter contract, not the market contract. So I can put a button here, button. I have to think about how I'm gonna display the logic to display. Because I'm gonna have two buttons here. And I also need to think about the CSS because I want them to be side by side and not on top of each other. And this is flex column. So maybe I put outside of this stuff here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Oh, but this is card body. Card header. Maybe there's a card dot footer. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And then I can just do same variant. And here I can put remove. Yeah, the only problem is the CSS on this. Then obviously I'm gonna put on click and then handle. I'm gonna have to do it on the cards thing because it's on the same page. So what if I do this? Yeah, I'm probably gonna style with this thing here. It's gonna be easier. Well, actually, I have to put it on here. Yeah, so this flex row. Just by content. Not sure if I could do a space between here. Space around. The center is gonna work, but maybe I can add just margin. Margin 1. No, padding. That doesn't work. Well, I have to add it on the buttons themselves, not on the div. That's why. It's probably gonna be a margin instead of padding. Okay, this works. So, next. There we go. Put 3 here. 4. And this adds margin to right and left. I think this is fine. And now I have to change the style, which I can just copy from this one, I think. Usually I think it looks better if you copy, if it's not copy, if you do this a standard way for all the buttons and colors by changing them, but always using the same colors on different spots. I think it looks better. Obviously I have changed this nav here, which is shitty. But then, so now I have to think about the condition. How I'm gonna load this condition. So I'm mapping through the NFTs. That NFTs meter contracts. Yeah, but I don't see any way of doing that before I do the listing, because it's gonna depend on the seller property of each item, if I can filter through that. And in order to do that, I need to get to make it work with the listing first. Maybe I can try to see, press F12 to go to the function definition. Why is it not showing me? Okay, I can just scroll here and it shows. So this gets the total supply from the contract, then it loops, creating a promise, and then gets the data. So maybe I can put nft.owner equals address. Yeah, I have to use the kit here. Address kit. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pass something, I'm gonna pass a prop to the NFTs, to the NFT, which comes here. Image description, index. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. So I think the first thing I need is the contract, the use contract kit from this. Oh, actually, it's better. Should put here.
Could you just stay by my side? It'll be alright.
And then I can use a set state, maybe.
I wanna taste of the other side.
I wonder if I can do it inside of this one. I'm thinking about doing a condition that says if NFT.owner is passing through here, props. So maybe I can do here. Yeah, I have to... What variable can I put? Oh, actually, I don't... Yeah, but if I don't do it here... Because if I don't do it through here, I have to do it through here, actually. So maybe I create a variable in the global scope of this component. So what can I name the variable? Yeah, show remove, probably. But then, can I assign this? Here I need the tree. Expect to use it. Yeah, that's the thing. I need to figure out how to write this properly. But the idea is just to use this variable, and then I'm gonna pass this variable here with the component. And then I can use this variable to do another if-else statement there to show the button. And the issue is I have to do it inside of this thing here. So maybe I can use the curly braces, but then I have to return, I think. And so maybe all I have to do is add an extra thing here. I'm not sure if this works. Or if I have to return there. Cool. Pro mode. And then here I pass. Yeah, but now it's not loading anything. So I probably did something wrong there. And here I'm gonna make it equal to true by default. So I suspect I have to return here or do something else. If I do it, yeah, but then if I do like this, also doesn't. So I'm gonna try to do it with this.
Let's take a ride across a desert night. And when the sun comes up in the morning,
And then here has to be return.
feel you there. Oh, look at me now, look at me now. I'm right here. And as the light spills out in the sleepless air, you will see me.
Expect an assignment or a function call.
Go anywhere, go anywhere. Wait right here. I'm
Maybe I have to do it inside of this. Or maybe you can just do inside the remove. Yeah, that's probably better. Actually. So I could just do remove. Close this maybe. Yeah, this looks a lot better and simpler to do. Or maybe I can just do, I don't need to create another variable, I can just put through there. Yeah, there we go. And this looks a lot better. And this is the weird thing, when it's loading, it's showing that stuff. So I need to change this thing and figure out the dimensions as well. This is all the times I try to fix the listing on the marketplace contract. I think there was more than this actually. For some reason it's not showing here. Let me see. If I change accounts, no, it's still 12. Okay. I thought there was more NFTs, because I remember seeing 14, 15 and the times that I tried this. I'm not sure what's up. Yeah, but whatever. And then I can use this remove here. And then I can pass inside the curly braces. do this, remove, and this, and then pass remove here. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there we go. So now let me change the account. It's not working. It's supposed to show the remove button now.
It's like you don't know me at all. Please don't forget who I am when I'm gone. I hope I just need a change.
So I'm gonna have to spend time thinking about this.
Feels like I'm waiting, like I'm watching you follow.
It should be working. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. I'm getting the NFTs from here, then populating the list with all the NFTs, and then I'm mapping through the list. If I put a console log there, it's gonna give me an error, I think. Let me see. And 103. It's logging error. Oh, so it's giving me an error here. Why is it showing the NFTs though? If it's hitting this line. Doesn't make sense. Oh, then should get the owner is getting this function here. Maybe the index is off. Oh, I don't think that's the reason. Because each NFT is gonna be this object here. So the index doesn't have anything to do with that. So The only explanation is that the owner, this thing is not working. I'm gonna try to console log the NFTs. If I can't do it through here, I'm gonna do it on the function there. Just do the comma and see if it works. Okay, so it works. Yeah, so it's showing an address here. Let me see if that's the address of my wallet. It seems to be the same thing. So maybe I need to pass it through string or something like that. That might be the problem. It's still not showing. So what if I do console log this? Oh, so I think NFT is an object that has NFT like this. It's still giving me an error there. But it seems like it's a nested object. Maybe this is a nested object as well. I don't think so, but it doesn't work. That's the issue. I can't access the stuff. Maybe I can do it here. Oh. I'm gonna try to do it here.
I see you stare standing at the front of the line, waiting for something I can't make out. But I wanna talk to you, to pull you aside. I wanna ask you to come with me tonight. I wanna stay by your side.
So it's an array, so each one is gonna be this object here, but it doesn't make any sense. So let me copy this map here. Well, actually, it's easier to just write it down. Oh, if there's no more. Maybe can I do this without? Yeah. So why is it only showing me the 13, 14? It's only showing me the 13. Which it doesn't show here as well. So there's something weird going on. So probably when I'm creating this NFTs is not getting the owner correctly. And that should be the case because some of them don't have the owner property. Oh, I'm console logging the address here as well. Do this 39. I guess it's because this is, maybe I should put a weight here. Or let me remove this. It still shows me. What if I do this stuff outside here? Yeah. Maybe if I do NFTs.map in here, it's gonna show. but I'm not sure if it's gonna show me. Okay, so it shows 13 only. So let me do console.log NFT. And then it shows the 12. I guess it's because it's showing the last one. Probably when I do NFT.owner. Yeah, that's what's happening. Because they're all from the same address. So it should be correct, I think. That's what I don't understand. So NFT.owner, then console.log address. Yeah, it's the same thing. So why isn't it showing the button? I don't understand. And if I remove this, it doesn't matter. This thing here is, I think, is pretty easy to fix. I might fix it later. All I have to do is put a max width or a min width, min and max width. Basically change the width. I'm gonna have to see how to do that with CSS or with Bootstrap. Yeah, so what the hell is going on here? And if I put true, it doesn't allow me to do it. Oh, I guess I can see on the index the way that they did it. Index. But it's pretty much the same thing, I think, that I'm doing here. NFT owner. What is NFT owner? Oh, it's using use state. So maybe I can do this. Maybe that's why it's not working. Because I have to use state. But this is to see, to check for the address that deployed the contract. But maybe I can do the same thing for NFT owner instead. I can map over the NFTs inside of the function and then call, do another function like this and call and do the same thing basically they're doing here. But calling the NFT fetch NFT owner. Where is it? Yeah, fetch NFT owner. I don't understand this as well because here they are implying that the NFT owner is the same person that deploys the contract. So one thing that is not really clear to me still is if every time that someone mints an NFT is like their owner of the contract. It doesn't make sense to me that that's the case. It makes more sense to me that the person that deploys the contract is the owner of the contract, and then the person that mints, called the minting function, is just the owner of the that instance, that NFT, but not necessarily the same as the owner of the contract. So I don't get this logic here because they're getting the contract owner and then saying that this is the owner, the NFT owner. So I'm not sure if here they're filtering just to see if you're the owner of the contract itself and then shows your NFTs based on that, or if the address is the owner of some of NFTs but not the contract itself, if that makes sense. But how can I do this? Let me see. Because there's a bunch of things going on here, so it's a little bit confusing. I think I'm just gonna copy this here. And then I copy this function as well. And copy this. But the thing is, I'm gonna have to do this inside the other function, the get assets function. Because I have to get it for each one of them. That's why it's confusing. Yeah, I think this is probably not the best way to do it. Maybe what I can do is I can, I think, yeah, I'm gonna erase this stuff. It's probably easier to do. It's just after I got out after I get assets here, get NFTs, I map through this and then I use state and then I create a property on the NFTs. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But then I can't use state. Well, let me see. I'll try the easy way first and then if it doesn't work, I'll think about another way. So or maybe actually I was gonna say I can do the mapping while I'm getting the NFTs, but the function is coming from this one, so it doesn't work. So I have to map here. Const. Now what can I name this? And I wonder if I can do this, if I have to do this promise.all as well, since Copilot is recommending this. Promise.all. And let me just see what this comes up with. I think it's just gonna, yeah. Or maybe if I do one more, it's just gonna write this stuff here. It's not useful. And then I have to return at the end. So maybe what I'm gonna do is return. Then I'm gonna spread the all NFTs. No, but actually that doesn't make any sense because, well, maybe it does actually. So I can make let NFT owner equals and this is a sync, so I have to do but I'm not sure if this works. And then here I would replace this with NFT owner. It probably is not gonna work. Yeah, it's not defined. Because I have to think about a way to integrate state there. And if I just do, maybe I can do set NFT owner. Yeah, maybe I can do that. Because I think this returns one item for each one, but I'm not really sure. And then I don't need to put this stuff here. You can just do the weight. So if NFT dot owner, which is the property that I'm receiving from the minter function here, is equal to the address that is currently connected, then I set it to true, else false. And then I add this to the item, to the NFT item. Or maybe I don't need to pass here because I'm already adding this there. So it's gonna be inside of this NFT item here. And then I can change this to NFT owner. But I don't think it's gonna work. It's now, it's not, it's screwing up the items. No, because I have owner here, but oh, maybe I can just use this owner. Let me see. And then I can scratch this stuff. Not too hopeful about this, but hopefully it works. Oh, actually, I'm doing it on the wrong file. Uh, yeah, so now it shows the remove. CSS is shit, but so let me see if it doesn't work. It shows for everything. Because the owner should be this one that minted. So the other one shouldn't see the remove button. I think I'm gonna do this off stream actually because it's quite annoying to have to split the screen here when I have two monitors and I can just do one thing in one monitor and the other thing on the other one. But it's really annoying how this is the kind of stuff that I mean that I spend a bunch of time trying to figure out because it doesn't make any sense. It seems like it should be working, but For some reason, it doesn't. And it's probably because of these methods here, but then, yeah. But after these buttons, I think the only thing that is left is maybe I can change the style of the buttons before I go. So I can go in the create here. It's quite easy, probably to do it. Yeah, just add this variant class name. Oh, actually, I don't know why the color is not changing. Oh, it's probably because I have to put the variants there. And maybe I can take the margin off. Yeah, there we go. And then I can also add the class there. Oh, actually, I think it's on the nav bar that I changed the color. That's pretty easy to do. So let me think if I have any ideas. I think the logic is pretty easy. It's just the problem with the contracts and these functions that's for some reason they seem not to work. Because I'm getting the address, the correct address from here, from the use kit, and this address here, and I'm getting the correct address from the ONFTs. So I'm not sure why the check doesn't work there. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because the logic I did should be working, I think, that way. By passing the variable and then checking if the owner is the address. And if it is, then it is equal to true. And then it creates each NFT based on that, which displays the button conditionally. So it should be working, I think. But for some reason, I think it has to do. It's probably, if I suspect it has to do either with state. The use state have to incorporate use state somehow to change the address, and because of the type of the address, because the strict quality check to see the equality using the three equal signs, it's more rigorous. So it might be the type difference between the address from use contract kit and the address that I'm getting on the object of the NFTs. It has to be the reason why it's not working. But after I do that, then the only thing functionally that I have to do left, because once I do that, I have the logic for also displaying the. I'm gonna do the same logic to display the NFTs or not on the my NFTs page, which is gonna be equal to this one, but only show the NFTs for the address for the owner of the NFT. And after that, all I have to do, what I have to do is figure out what's wrong with this function here on the minter. Because after I do the transaction, after I mint the NFT, for some reason I'm not being able to list it using this make item function from the market contract. And it's probably because of the address of the NFT here that I don't understand what do I have to pass here in order to make it work. So this is the things that I have to figure out, and then after this I think it's gonna be finished. And then if I have patience, or time, I'm gonna try to fix the sizing of this stuff here as well. But I don't think it matters that much because on the other projects it's probably wrong as well. And on this size it seems to be okay. So it's more I think they care more about the functionality instead of the CSS. So I'm gonna work on that off stream, and then I might come back today later. To if I figure this stuff out today, I might come back to figure out the address stuff later on. So see you then.